In today's show, Israel's ceasefire with Hamas may already be falling apart. A massive $35 billion Obamacare scam has taxpayers fuming. And in Paris, thieves just pulled off a daring daylight jewel heist inside the Louvre. Plus, a Louisiana man has been arrested for allegedly taking part in Hamas's 2023 attack on Israel. A new health craze called fibermaxing is going viral. For once, doctors are approving. And do you ever wonder why you get goosebumps when you're cold or emotional? The answer might surprise you. But that's not today's trivia question. Here it is. Which U.S. island has banned cars since 1898, requiring visitors to travel by horse, bicycle, or foot? I'll tell you at the end of the show. It's Monday, October 20th. This is the Flyover Podcast. Welcome to the Flyover Podcast, taking you above the noise for an unbiased, high-altitude view of today's headlines with daily coverage that's honest and refreshing. Let's cruise the news and land the facts. Hello and welcome back to the Flyover Podcast. I'm your weekday host, Ayla Brown. It's Monday and I hope you had an awesome weekend. I went to a fun Halloween event with my family, and if you're watching, here's a picture of my little guys and me. My oldest was Chase from Paw Patrol, and my youngest was a baby chick hatching out of an egg. And if you couldn't tell, I was a race car driver. Are you dressing up this year, by the way? Let me know in the comments section. All right, let's take off with today's biggest headlines. Israel launched dozens of airstrikes in Gaza on Sunday after attacks on its troops in Rafah, which it blamed on Hamas and called a blatant violation of the ceasefire. The strikes raised fears the fragile truce could collapse before even entering its second phase. By late Sunday, Israel said it had resumed enforcement of the deal, meaning no further retaliation for now, and a restart of humanitarian aid into Gaza. Hamas, meanwhile, denied involvement in the Rafah attack and claimed the militants responsible weren't part of its forces. Federal investigators say a massive $35 billion fraud has been uncovered in pandemic-era Obamacare subsidies. The probe found millions of phantom enrollments, people listed as insured but filing no medical claims, often through brokers who bribed or signed up people without consent. Miami-Dade County, Florida, showed more low-income enrollees than census data says even live there. Watchdogs estimate over 6 million fake signups cost taxpayers billion. The subsidies expanded under Biden, expired December 31st, and their renewal is now a flashpoint in the ongoing government shutdown fight. More on that story in today's show notes. And in Paris, thieves pulled off a daylight jewel heist at the Louvre, stealing 9 priceless pieces once owned by Napoleon's family. Disguised as construction workers, 3 masked men used an aerial lift to reach a second-floor window, cut through glass cases, and escaped on scooters in under 10 minutes. Among the stolen treasures were jewels belonging to Empress Eugenie and Queen Marie Amélie, described as, quote, of inestimable heritage value. One damaged crown, by the way, was later found outside of the museum, evidence of a rushed getaway in what officials are calling a national humiliation. We do have a poll question about your favorite heist at the end of the show. Here are your top political headlines. The Secret Service has launched an investigation after discovering a suspicious hunting stand near Palm Beach International Airport, with a clear line of sight to where President Trump exits Air Force One. Agents say no one was found at the scene and no security personnel were harmed, but the setup raised enough concern for the FBI to get involved. The area has since been secured, though the discovery is raising fresh questions about how something like that could get so close to a presidential flight path. Next, Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is making headlines again, this time for her fundraising numbers. She's raised a whopping $21 million this year and has nearly $12 million in cash on hand. Those kinds of numbers are fueling speculation that AOC may be eyeing a bigger stage in 2028, maybe a Senate run or even The White House? For now, she's brushing off the chatter, but the buzz around her future is definitely growing. And President Trump is going viral again, this time for a controversial AI-generated video he posted on Truth Social. The clip shows him as a fighter pilot dropping sewage on protesters labeled "No Kings," all set to the Top Gun theme song. The video is making its rounds and adding to Trump's long list of viral moments this week. And you can see it as well because we've linked it in today's show notes. Here's some podcast extra stories. Federal authorities have arrested Mahmoud Amin Yaqub al-Mutari, a Palestinian national living in Lafayette, Louisiana, accused of taking part in Hamas's October 7, 2023 attack on Israel. Prosecutors say he belonged to both Hamas and the National Resistance Brigades and helped coordinate militants during the insurgent. Evidence reportedly includes intercepted messages, photos, and videos placing him inside Israel and praising the violence. Investigators say he lied on his U.S. visa application to hide his terror ties, entering the country in 2024 on a green card. He now faces terrorism and fraud charges and will appear in court this week. A new wellness trend called fiber maxing is taking off on TikTok, and experts actually say it's worth the hype finally. The goal is to eat more high-fiber foods to meet or exceed daily recommendations of about 25 to 40 grams. Nutritionists say fiber supports gut health, stabilizes blood sugar, and aids digestion. Soluble fiber lowers cholesterol, while insoluble fiber keeps things moving. Most Americans fall short in this category, so easy fixes like seeded breads, whole grains, and adding chia or flax seeds can help. For once, it is a viral trend backed by science. And here's a cool science one as well. Goosebumps, or piloerection, as they're called in the science world, happen when tiny muscles at the base of your hair follicles contract as part of your body's fight or flight response. In animals, it helps conserve heat or look larger to predators. But in humans, it's usually triggered by fear, cold, or emotional moments like hearing powerful music. Those same nerve signals that prep us for danger can spark a chill or skin prickle, a reminder that our bodies still carry echoes of our primal past. Still to come, the IRS is shutting down stimulus rumors. A North Korean defector risks everything to cross the DMZ. And Apple's first foldable iPhone may not arrive until, well, I will tell you in a second. All of that and more coming up. But first, thanks to Cozy Earth. Excuse me about this. I'm going to get comfy right now because Cozy Earth's whole mission is to transform your 5 to 9 into the most comfortable part of your day. And let me tell you, they've nailed it. At my house, bedtime can be a circus with 2 little kids, but once the house quiets down, sliding into Cozy Earth's viscose from bamboo sheets has become the best part of my day. They're temperature regulating and so soft like you wouldn't believe. And if you want to up your comfort game, come on, you guys. You got to get their bubble cuddle blanket. If you are watching this, I'm holding it right now. If you're listening only to audio, just know that it's this gorgeous plush textured design, and it has a bit of a weight to it, so you can really get on the couch and feel protected, loved, and cozy. You can try Cozy Earth risk-free. They give you 100 nights to see if you love them, plus a 10-year warranty. So here's the deal. Head to CozyEarth.com, use my code FLYOVER for up to 20% off. And if you see a post-purchase survey, make sure to let them know you heard about Cozy Earth right here on the Flyover podcast. Because home isn't just where you live, it's how you feel. Let's go home with Cozy Earth. The question is, do I keep this on for the rest of the episode? If you're wondering, I kept it on my lap. Apple's new iPhone Air sold out across China within minutes of its launch on Friday, a huge success following CEO Tim Cook's high-profile visit to promote the device. The phone's lightweight design and upgraded camera features have generated major buzz, especially in markets where Apple's competition with Huawei has been heating up. Next, the IRS is setting the record straight on online rumors about new stimulus payments. The agency confirmed there are no direct deposit payments scheduled for the rest of the year and is warning Americans to beware of phishing scams or fake checks that claim otherwise. And in a move stirring international headlines, President Trump called Colombian President Gustavo Petro, quote, an illegal drug dealer, after announcing that the U.S. will be cutting funding to Colombia. The decision comes amid rising tensions over drug policy and Petro's criticism of U.S. foreign strategy in the region. Here's what's happening outside of the U.S., beyond our borders. Russian President Vladimir Putin is facing an international criminal court arrest warrant and EU airspace bans ahead of his planned summit with President Trump in Budapest. The two leaders are expected to meet within 2 weeks to discuss a possible end to the Ukraine conflict. Despite being an ICC member, Hungary has promised not to arrest Putin, sparking outrage from other European nations. Next, a diplomatic showdown is brewing between Europe and China after the Dutch government seized control of semiconductor maker Nexperia. The move came under a Cold War-era law that allows the Netherlands to take over companies tied to national security risks. In response, Nexperia's Chinese division declared independence, breaking away from its European management, a move that's rattling global chip supply chains. And in a rare and dangerous move, a North Korean soldier defected to South Korea by crossing the heavily guarded, demilitarized zone. South Korean forces took him into custody after he expressed a desire to resettle in the South. It's the first known land border defection by a North Korean soldier since August of 2024. In the NFL, the Philadelphia Eagles snapped their 2-game losing streak with a 28-22 win over the Vikings, thanks to a strong defensive showing and a late touchdown drive that sealed the game. Meanwhile, the Kansas City Chiefs dominated the Las Vegas Raiders in a 31-0 blowout, with wide receiver Rashee Rice making a huge return, scoring twice in his first game back since last September. Also, the New England Patriots dominated the Tennessee Titans 31-13. Quarterback Drake May completed 21 of 23 passes for 222 yards and 2 touchdowns, pushing New England to 5-2 on the season. To see all of the NFL scores, we've linked them in the show notes below. In college football, the University of Florida has parted ways with head coach Billy Napier after an underwhelming 3-4 start to the season. The move wasn't entirely unexpected, as pressure had been mounting from fans and boosters for weeks. And sad news from the baseball world, former New York Yankees and Seattle Mariners catcher Jesus Montero has died at the age of 35 after a motorcycle accident in Venezuela. Montero was once a top prospect known for his powerful bat and infectious energy on the field. And lastly, in golf, Tommy Fleetwood captured his 8th European Tour title, taking home the trophy at the DP World India Championship. It's another strong finish for Fleetwood, who's been on a steady hot streak this season. In science and tech, a Chinese company called Deep Robotics has unveiled the world's first all-weather robot designed to work in rain, dust, and extreme conditions. It's tough enough for industrial use in disaster zones and could eventually take on dangerous jobs that humans can't. Apple's first foldable iPhone may not arrive until 2027 as engineers continue to perfect the hinge design. The delay comes down to Apple's usual obsession with durability. They don't want it to fold and break. That's good. And NASA just rediscovered a secret Cold War base buried under Greenland's ice. Known as Camp Century, it was part of a U.S. plan to store nuclear missiles beneath the ice. Abandoned in 1967, it left behind 47,000 gallons of nuclear waste, now frozen 100 feet deep, though scientists warn melting ice could expose it again someday. Here's a couple more stories we thought you'd enjoy today. A 74-year-old man in India shocked everyone at his own funeral because he wasn't dead. He had faked his own death to see who would show up to mourn him. And midway through the ceremony, he sat up in his casket to the horror and then laughter of his family and friends. He later said it was all an experiment to find out who truly cared, and it turns out quite a few people did. What do you think about this story? I think that is insane, but let me know in the comment section below. In Colorado, surveyors say they've officially discovered a new 14er. That's what climbers call a mountain peak over 14,000 feet high. The newly measured East Crestone Peak was thought to be a sub-peak of Crestone Peak, but new data shows it's 3.6 inches taller, making it Colorado's newest official summit in the exclusive 14er club. And lastly, a 45-year-old Michigan woman says she has ChatGPT to thank for her $100,000 Powerball win. The state lottery confirmed Thursday that she did use AI to generate her numbers for the September 6th drawing. She told officials she only plays when jackpots top $1 billion and now plans to use her winnings to pay off her home. Here are the results of yesterday's poll question. Do you like surprises? 51% said depends, 26% said no, and 24% said yes. I agree with the majority of you. It depends on the surprise. Coming home to find a spouse cheating, not a good surprise. Coming home to a bouquet of flowers, that's a sweet surprise. You see what I did there? It really depends. Thank you so much, though, to everyone who voted. And here's today's poll question. We talked about the heist of the Louvre at our first section in the Takeoff section. So what is your favorite heist movie? Is it Ocean's 11, The Italian Job, Inside Man, Heat, or Other? And if it is something other, the comment section is always open. I'm actually going to vote other. I'm going to go with a Boston classic called The Town. It stars Ben Affleck, and if you haven't seen it, it follows a Boston bank robber who falls for a woman he once held hostage, all while keeping his criminal past a secret from her, of course. As their relationship deepens, he and his crew plan one big last heist, targeting none other than Fenway Park. It is so Boston. What about you, though? You can vote in the show notes below, and I'll read the answers in tomorrow's show. And the links to vote are in the show notes. Here's the trivia. Which U.S. island has banned cars since 1898, requiring visitors to travel by horse, bicycle, or foot? The answer's Michigan, Mackinac Island. It outlawed horseless carriages in 1898 after they spooked horses. And it still forbids nearly all motor vehicles today. Locals and tourists get around by horse-drawn carriage or bike, making it one of the only U.S. communities where cars remain illegal. I didn't know that. Anyways, that is it for today's Flyover podcast. Thank you once again for watching, sharing, supporting the show. Tomorrow, as always, I will be back with more headlines. Until then, thank you so much for flying with us.